Bios, we asked, how valuable is Tyler Herro?
I mean, I still think that he is quite a valuable presence for the Heat. He is in the running for, what was that?
That was quite the take. Tyler Herro is valuable to the Heat. How valuable is Tyler Herro?
I'm not quite sure. I'm not quite sure what we're going for here. Because like he's averaging 25 and 4, basically. I'm sure 25 and 4.
I'm sure you saw a report from Bleacher Report's Jake Fisher that a lot of people think he's going to command the full boat in extension talks. So do you think he's worth a 5-year max in extension talks?
Yeah, I do. I think as a change of pace guard who can operate on and off the ball, who is already demonstrating that he is an elite scorer with, 3-point capabilities, both off the dribble and off the catch, whose playmaking skills have been growing year by year. I think he makes sense in that role. I think he's on the lower threshold for what a max player should be in today's NBA, but he's at least there.
And I'd be curious to see him in a bigger role. I know the way he plays with the Heat helps him, but also he's played a bunch because they've been banged up. And also, here's the thing. Miami just has a bunch of players that get banged up. This is not Kyle Lowry's old. Jimmy Butler has been injured before. Bam Adebayo, I feel like he's had some stuff in the past. That one might not be true still, though. The Heat are winning the minutes he plays without, or they're playing opponents to basically a net even in the minutes he plays without all 3 of those players. That's a big deal. An even bigger deal, they're winning fairly decidedly the minutes that he and Bam play without Kyle Lowry and Jimmy Butler. And the other thing, you can worry about regression here, but we're getting to the point where like this has been his shot diet. Per B-ball index, he is the 6th worst 3-point pull-up shot quality in the league. The 6th worst. He's the 3rd worst mid-range shot quality in the league. Now, when you look at his efficiency in those areas, he's shooting almost 37. He's shooting 36.7% on off the dribble threes, on pull-up threes. That's on pull-up threes, that's above average. He is shooting 43% from mid-range this year, which is in the 60th percentile, also above average. When you have players who can hit difficult shots at what would just be above a league average clip, not even relative to the quality of looks, but just the league average in general, that's massive. And I think what you also just talked about, and not enough people are talking about, there's been improvement as a passer there, not just with a willingness, but like, this is not the greatest barometer for how I view playmakers, but Brandon Ingram's a great example. If you're making passes that I can't see in real time or read because I'm just such an idiot when it comes to the X's and O's of basketball, I've noted like you've made some type of jump. When it's just the simple stuff that even I could see, then it's okay, fine, you made the right pass. But he's made more complicated passes this year. So I think you're also right that he probably is on the lower end of what a max contract player would be. Based off this season, though, going into extension talks, I absolutely would not sign if they were offering me less than the max.
Right. And he shouldn't. The defense is not where it needs to be for him to like truly ascend into that tier, but the playmaking growth, and I really liked how you put it there. And then, I think the stats you threw out are great, and it works from the eye test as well. Because if you watch Tyler Herro play just purely as a scorer, you can easily convince yourself that this is a guy who's going to average 28 plus points for a season.
Right.
He has the shot making ability in every area. He makes the tough shots. He seeks out those shots when that shot profile eventually improves, which it typically does as players are moving into their second contract and are more familiar with the nuances of NBA defenses and their own skill set. I could realistically see him factoring into a scoring title race one year.
And like, this is someone who was a 29 usage this season. That's borderline superstar level. And it's usage.
Yes, and he only just turned 22 in January.
And I guess the thing you could wait, and by the way, it's not because we just went over all this. It's not the type of usage where it gets the ball. It's not a finishing like big man. This is someone who has the ball in his hands and self-creates a good amount. I guess what you could say is, how does this translate to the playoffs? He, just like the rest of the Heat team last year, he was pretty bad in the playoffs. So yeah, I get wanting to see how he fares in the postseason if they're healthy and they have a better team around him. But he got it done in the bubble in 2020. He was great.
Right.
I get that it was the bubble, but like, it's not an egregious ask on his part to want a max contract after this season. It's just,
and the other type of improvement that I always love to see from young gunners, which is essentially the role that he wants to fill and is capable of filling, is the percentage of their field goals made that are assisted. As a rookie from 3-point territory, 78.4, fell to 72.9 as a sophomore, and it's down to 69.8 this season. On twos, 47.4% as a rookie, fell to 46.0, 32.7 this year. He is creating so many of his own looks and has not sacrificed efficiency even while spiking in volume. That combination of stats is not easy to come by for young scorers.
And just so we're clear, like him creating basically a third or 30% of his own 3-point looks, that is significant. I know some people look at that number and it's like, oh, 70% of his 3-pointers are assisted. Okay. Like that's
not a lot. Yeah.
And also there is something to be said. We've seen I don't want to use this guy as the example, but like Andrew Wiggins for so long felt like the quintessential guy who was more comfortable operating on ball than off. And look at Russell Westbrook. Like there's value in being able to toggle between on and off ball responsibilities, and Tyler Herro can do that.
Mm-hmm.